Dribble fast, heartbeats flow. Confederacy, talking show. Freddie and D in the glow. Hoops and jams inside your ears. Slam dunks, no more fears. B-ball chat over the years. Podcast legends, cheers and cheers. Up, down, bounce, come alive. Catch the vibes, feel the drive. In the zone, we will thrive. Freddie and D running vibes. Hit and roll to the beat. Every game front row seat. Podcast heat, never will retreat. Feel the pulse hit the street. 3-point lines, crossover spins. Basketball podcast for the wins. In your heart, the vibe begins. Freddie and D, we the king.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Confederacy of Dunks basketball podcast on Raptors Republic. I am your host, Freddie Rivas, here with Andy Hull, co-host and producer, and special guest, Dan Galea. What's up, guys? Vince Carter has been retired by the Raptors.
Is retired. Huge week, monumental week. Toronto. This is really something. Am I right, Dan?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is something. I think it was really cool. It was so cool to watch. It was so cool to see like Vince Carter be that emotional and like just be like that appreciated too, and like just have this like back and forth with the fans. It was so cool.
And you were saying too when we were chatting before we started recording about we recorded 10 minutes and then forgot. But Dan, you made some good points about you forgot his energy, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, like it just like the way he reacted, and just like there was like a palpable energy I felt like between him and the fans, and it was like he won a championship. You know what I mean? It was like he was like crying and screaming, and it was like, yeah, it was like a memorable moment. I think even more memorable because of who he is. Like that's who he was, right? Like he was like that guy that didn't just like dunk the ball. He like smashed his arm through the net. You know what I mean? So it's like he was always very just like huge like that. I forgot that he was such a character, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of did too. It's funny that you mentioned that because I'm like seeing him, for some reason I can always picture like the dunk contest. I can picture like the big in-game dunks and all that stuff. You're right. I didn't attach a ton of emotion to Vince. And perhaps that's because the way he left and how like flat he was with the team, and now obviously that didn't go well, and that's been talked about to death, obviously. But like I guess I think I lost a lot of that in seeing the way he left, and that to me that's how he left. Like I didn't. Obviously, I've seen him ever since playing on all the other teams and stuff like that, and he's had emotional moments, of course. But like, yeah, I don't ascribe that to him, probably because of that, I think. So it was really nice to see. First of all, at the Hall of Fame ceremony, and then here, even like almost even more so, like the crying while also screaming like "Let's go," you know, like
yeah,
that's cool. That's great, man. I've never seen such an aggressive cry at a sporting thing. So I was really, I'm here for it, man. It was great.
There's so many good Vince descriptors, and I'm gonna try and throw one out there. He is the opposite of toxic masculinity. Like he is an extremely masculine person who is like has like intense physical prowess, and is like oozes like I am like an alpha male, but also has a lot of vulnerability. Always has, and he wasn't even one of those young guys who sort of like aged into his vulnerability. Like he had that from. Sorry, I'm gonna start crying. No, I have some tortilla deep in my throat.
No, it's just meat and pie
It
crust.
is just there's too much meat. There's too much. Me and my wife were just talking. We love a tortilla.
Yeah,
just like, we love a tortilla. Shout out Quebec, but like there's just too much meat and crust. Like throwing a.
Sorry, you're saying there's too much of what makes a tortilla in a tortilla.
That's right. Throwing a couple peas, carrots.
Peas.
Like, mix it
now
up.
You're making it a
Mushrooms,
shepherd's pie. You're talking something else now.
I sure am. We actually
like
talked about how we like shepherd's pie more. Anyway.
I don't mean to derail us. But...
No, I did with my tort coughs. But
Tort coughs.
Vince, like, yeah, he was so just like emotional, and I think like even seeing Vince more recently in broadcasts, a lot of people are surprised that he's not electric on TV, which him not being an amazing like analyst and like panel guy is weird to me, because he's kind of the Vince I remember was like so charming, like he could dance, like when he had that like charity thing, like his charity games in the summer, like Vince was just all like, he was such a perfect NBA package of like, could do everything, was like very intelligent, well spoken. And yeah, I mean, forgetting his energy is such a good lead into this event, because like that, like power cry, which is become a meme immediately, right? People are like, obviously, like if you go come on and cry,
Yeah.
and there's a whole arena being like whoa, and you're like, I'm gonna cry harder, watch this, and then you cry harder. People are
So much so that the water is squirting straight out of your eyes.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like an
Just
anime.
pushing it
It's like
so hard.
pouring out the
My
sides.
version of that is definitely guy gets tortilla instead of shepherd's pie. But
Oh, yeah.
it was amazing. Like, yeah. What else jumps out to you? Like, Andy, was there any sort of? Yeah, I'm glad we're leading with Vince, because Vince is the reason we're all kind of talking about it, but there is a lot of things on the margins. Like, did anyone else pop out to you? Is there other thoughts on Vince?
Well, you mentioned something right there that actually that's interesting to me. The idea that like they picked him for the TNT broadcast, right? Because they were like, oh, this is an emotional guy. He's outspoken. He's going to be a spark plug. He's going to be great. And then, I don't know. I guess it wasn't exactly what they were expecting, maybe. And like some people love him on the broadcast. Some people thought he was not great. Whatever. Wherever you stand on it, I think he was very much himself. And it always felt like, to me, obviously, I think he felt a tiny bit nervous on the show, which I think is a result of what we're talking about. This vulnerability that he has, and he kind of puts himself all the way out there. And think about the decision to play this long in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
That is not an easy decision. Like, obviously Vince physically was there, he could do it great. Like, obviously that's a major part of it, that you can even just do,
and not ring chase. Which is also
exactly.
which is wild for someone of his stature.
And
like,
to go from being one of the top superstars in the league to having these all-time moments, to eventually playing till you're like 40 and being this bench player and role player, to like just like not playing a ton, being a leadership, like that's a tough, like I've heard lots of players on the league on podcasts and stuff talk about how that's a hard transition. And can be an emotional thing, because you are not the person you thought you were. You're changing all this, blah, 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 all this stuff. So I think like for him, yeah, he puts it out there. He's not afraid to like experience those things, like right in the public eye, and right out in the middle of the Scotiabank Arena last night, right? Like he really does it. And so yeah, that's why I think maybe that didn't work out, because I think if you're going to be a broadcaster the way that those guys are, like Chuck and Shaq and those guys, like there is a level of performer where it's like, I'm gonna, like, comedians know this, right? I'm a performer. There's a thing of like, yes, I am going to put my true self, I'm going to put myself out there, but it is a version of yourself, right? It's not necessarily just your, everything. You know how to present it. And I just think Vince might not know how to present it. He's kind of raw, he's just maybe a little too raw for it. That's all.
I feel like they should have given him more time, though, because if he played basketball for that long, think about how long he could have broadcasted for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Till he's like 300.
That's what I'm saying. And by the time he's like 106, he's going to be pretty good. So
I can't wait. I can't wait, man. It's going to be so good.
Yeah. Like a 300-year-old Vince on the broadcast. Oh my God.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna be in our 200s. It's
yeah.
gonna be feeling pretty nice seeing Vince up there.
No, it's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, he's the first player to defeat Father Time.
He's just a head. He's just a head in a jar.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Ray Kurzweil.
Who's Ray
Yeah,
Kurzweil?
It's a deep cut. He's a futurist who
Oh, wow, that is a
he
deep cut.
predicted the rise of the internet, and there's this.
Kurzweil
Yeah,
Cool.
getting his first mention on Confederacy of Dunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy Kurzweil. Nostradamus is coming for you.
yeah, he's kind of a modern Nostradamus.
Okay, shout out modern Nostradamus.
That's Kurzweil.
Kurzweil eating chicken
one
pot
thing-
pie, probably.
One thing I noticed with the other players there is how stoked Vince was to see Charles Oakley. Like, he didn't know he was there, and when he saw him, Freddie, you were there. We said this. He looked like a guy who was drunk. It was like the end of a party, and like he sees his buddy at the party who has been there the whole time, but he didn't. He's pretty loaded. He doesn't know, and just like had to run over and just point at Charles Oakley. Like, Vince, he's been there the whole time, man. Come on.
Oakley is very clearly a bully. To me, Oakley, it's one of those guys who's like, he's your friend. And I could see Vince Carter not like Michael Jordan. Like, Michael Jordan and Oakley are like, let's gamble all night and like get up to some shit. I could see Oakley being like, Vince, we're gambling all night, and Vince being like, I actually am gonna go to bed at 3. And Oakley's sort of like, nah, we're getting it in. And Vince is like, dude, like, I know your family, you know your family, we both got to go home. And Oakley's like, soft. But yeah, Oakley to me has always been that type of guy who's sort of like, you'd love to have him when shit goes down, but like when shit's not going when shit is not going down, you're just sort of like, would you chill? We're just at dinner. You know what I mean?
You think so? Eh?
I think so. I think Oakley is sort of like, I mean, I'd love to meet him. He'd probably kick my ass, you know? He'd be like,
I wish I knew a little bit more about how Charles Oakley felt about his time on the Raptors, because like I haven't actually heard a ton about that. I don't know if I haven't read Alex's book, Alex Wong's book. I don't know if that if it touches on that at all. Yeah,
Well,
I've heard nothing but good things.
it's all about
Didn't
the
say he was going to
first
send me it,
season.
and he never
so-
did. But okay. Oh, that's only the first season. Okay, well there
just,
you go.
yeah,
So
it's just first season.
I didn't know that. I thought it was like a whole thing. Anyways, but I did read the one about the Knicks. Well, I listened to it on tape when I was in my car driving around, and Oakley was none too happy to be coming to Toronto. I'll tell you that.
I'm sure. Yeah, he was
when they broke that Knicks team up. Yeah, he didn't want to do it. But I get the feeling. I guess what I'm saying here is like I get the feeling that he came around on this team because they were a fun team and an exciting team, and having Vince on the team was really cool. So it was really neat to see these guys. I have a question for everyone.
Sure.
Who looked the best of the old guys who came out? Who do you think had the best look?
Like in
everyone?
video or in
No,
in arena?
like who were in the arena? The guys
I
who
mean,
were sitting on the
Mo
chairs
Pete
there.
absolutely
Yeah,
looked
Mo Pete
fantastic.
Pete, right? It's
With
easy.
the
Mo
same
Pete.
age with like longer
Yeah.
hair.
And
Like,
Mo
it's
Pete
weird.
was like, I look like I could be like
On the team?
the older version of Enzo in Reboot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking great. Like, he would just his sort of, he had like the very cool dreads, and like he looked like he was, yeah, he was styling, man.
He was
He
taking
looked great.
pictures of Drake and his kid. It's cool.
I thought Oakley looked pretty good too, man. I thought he looked like I don't know, like Morpheus's from the Matrix cool older brother. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, this is good.
he
Good
looked-
references.
He looked dope, man. He looked really
Yeah.
cool.
Is there anyone
Like,
that
I'd be happy if that guy was my
JYD
music
looked
teacher.
good too. He looked the same as well. Like
JYD, yeah.
I don't remember seeing?
He was on the end at the back there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. In bomb.
yeah.
But
I was saying to you earlier
you look
though,
great.
also like one of the things I felt like was like I haven't seen all those people in the same place since they played together, I guess. And
yeah,
so
yeah. Let's talk about
it
that.
was like really cool to see them all there. And I also wonder, just on a human level, if it like made any new connections that would be interesting for the future. Like I wonder if Mo Pete could be like an advisor or something, or like I'm sure these guys all have like legends contracts or something. I know that's a wrestling thing,
That's a wrestling thing for
but I
sure.
don't know. They
Yes.
must have some sort of like a, you know, like I remember like some old Blue Jays were like they still were like with the team to represent them in places.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It
it's
does.
like,
Yeah.
It does make you think, right? Because so we had Leo Routens on the broadcast forever. Alvin Williams was sort of like, like before he became a commentator, was kind of like around the team. We got Matt Bonner coming in. So any of those guys, not Alvin Williams, obviously, but like any of those guys present, you you can imagine definitely like if they wanted to be involved in any capacity, I would imagine that would be like that door's wide open, right? Um,
mhm.
I think that door's even open for Canadian players. Like, here's the thing I want to talk about a little bit too, like just like merge into your point. Like there's those guys, right? Ex Raptors. But watching Tristan Thompson, I thought was interesting because all the people who were inspired by Vince, like it makes you think
Mhm.
about all the Canadians that are going to start to retire. Like,
Mhm.
is Kelly Olynyk going to like become a trainer? Is Tristan Thompson going to be involved with the team? Like all of these type of guys. Like, yeah, Dan, is there anyone who sort of like you have a good idea for a role for them?
Yeah, like I was like, I don't know, maybe this is dumb, but I like Vince Carter um would be great to have around. Just as like a I don't know what he would be though. Like I mean like would he be an assistant? You know what I mean? Like what do you put him in as? But I
I'd
just
love to
feel
have
like
Vince on the broadcast. Would be he's great. Like and
you
he's
know,
so nuanced too. I actually feel like he's a good, not hot takey guy. Like a lot of people make fun of Reggie Miller and how he calls games, and I think some of it's fair. He's like overly earnest, but a lot of these
mm,
guys on TNT or whatever, like that are on TV a lot. They're sort of like they're Perkins and they're kind of Pat Bev. Like they're looking for viral clips. They're looking for someone to just
Mhm.
like slam
mhm.
somebody else, or even like a JJ Redick is a version of like I'm not gonna slam people, but I'm gonna go on a full rant and like confront you
I'm gonna
about
do a
something.
Stephen A. rant. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right. And Vince is just not like that. He's like too mature. He's too gracious. But yeah, Clyde the Glide does Knicks games, right? So it's not unheard of to have like a superstar.
But he's doing Vince is doing like 9 broadcasts this season, right?
He is, yeah. So maybe this is his way
Maybe he'll
in.
get along with everybody and it'll like be something that sticks around, maybe. Who knows?
I can see that happening for sure.
I would
Hmm.
very
Like,
much love it too, and he would be really
yeah.
good, I think.
Like if he doesn't go back to TNT, like if a larger entity doesn't kind
Mm-hmm.
of scoop him up, but the TNT doesn't even have the games anymore next year, so
Mm.
that's probably
Mm-hmm.
not going to happen, right? So yeah,
And in
I,
the
I
way
in
that
fact it was probably the Raptors probably scooped up Vince instead of the other way around, actually.
Right.
I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure Vince he doesn't have to do anything really for anybody, but I feel like just as a fun, cool thing, maybe he would want to. And you if you think about a guy like Alvin Williams, such a good NBA player, right? I was such a big Alvin Williams fan, and like when his knees started to go, it was like so rough because he kind of just started figuring
Yeah.
it out. But Alvin Williams is forever sort of kind of like dissing himself and putting himself down, which is not really. He was a really good player. I think he was way more than a role player or anything like that. He was a starter, and I think
Yeah.
I think did he make an All Star? I'm gonna have to Google that, but yeah, I feel like he might have made one All Star. He might have
I don't
been
think so.
no.
I'll check.
In my mind, I know Antonio Davis did. I feel like, oh, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I feel like he was like an injury pick, but yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Anyhow, Vince is that type of guy who can relate to Scotty Barnes, but then he could also relate to whatever Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter. Like he can definitely be that guy who's like, I've been everything on a team. So
Mm.
in a broadcast, I can talk about like what it's like to be a young leader and a superstar and like have the whole, defense like focus and zero in on me. And then also I know how to be productive in 10 minutes a night.
Mm. I was going to say this earlier, and maybe, sorry, when you were saying that, like, when Vince left, it's like maybe that's what gave you the taste of him not being emotional. Sorry to go back, but it kind of connects.
Mhm.
It's like, don't you think him leaving was very emotional?
Like for the fans, yes.
But like,
But
wasn't the reason he left because he was being emotional about everything? Is that not like part of it?
It's part of it for sure. I mean, just I feel like this obviously has been relitigated so much, but he did ask for a trade. He was unhappy. The night of the trade, he also asked not to be traded, but
Okay.
GM at the time, Glenn Grunwald was it Babcock or Grunwald? I think it was Grunwald.
Grunwald, I think, yeah.
Yeah, was sort of like, dude, this is already happening. But before that, like he famously was letting other teams know his plays. But he was the first, I think, major superstar we had who, like, Mighty Mouse was kind of in and out. He was like, "This is, you guys are playing the Sky Dome, like, give me the fuck out of here." And Camby was not sort of the same level. Vince was the first guy who really had a lot of success here, and then it was like that time where like their hockey media was like started zeroing in on him, and people started calling him Wince Carter, and like trying to
Right.
shame him for getting his mom a parking spot, and kind of calling him a prima donna. And I think there was a lot of negative hockey town vibes that Vince had to deal with. So I think it was all these things working together. And then obviously he left and was still amazing. And he had a bunch of, buzzer beaters against us, game-winning dunks, beat us in a playoff series. It was
But that's what we were saying
tough.
also, is that like they were really honest about that. Like in the ceremony was like when like they did like the video tribute and stuff. It wasn't like Vince was perfect and nothing bad ever happened. It was like, no, we had good times, we had bad times. Like, but now we're back and all's forgiven and all that shit. Like it was like really cool. I just felt like it's a really interesting thing to be that honest about that. Like maybe that's just how it is, but I've never seen anything like addressing that kind of like vitriol that happened in a
Mm-hmm.
in a like a in like a ceremony that's meant to like be all about that person, and then being like, you were shit for a bit, but guess what, now we love you and we're gonna hang up your thing, you know what I mean? It's like, it's interesting to me.
Turns out we're forgiving Bargnani and Turk on the same night. It's Turk Yanni night.
Oh my God, it's Andrea Bargnani. Just running. Just gives Vince an RKO.
His banner comes down in front of Vince's, right?
Dragic comes in. I don't want to be here. You know what? We need a bad vibes night.
Bad vibes.
It's the 30 years of the Raptors. This was glorious. Also, just an incredible game, by the way. A huge win over the Kings. And yeah, let's talk about this current squad a little bit. But just, I think, really, really amazing night that was capped off by a win. Any final thoughts, you guys, on kind of the proceedings?
I heard some people talking about how it was they didn't like how it doesn't say Toronto or Raptors on the banner. And
Banner critique.
Yeah, a little bit of banner critique. I don't have that critique. I think that's, first of all, it matches the Leafs ones. The Leafs ones don't say Leafs on them. Don't say Toronto. It's just
the
player
dunk's cool.
and the number and the pitcher. This is the player, the number, the pitcher, because it's about the player, right? And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Who do you like? Are we confused about what team he played for? Like, we're here, we're looking at the fucking thing. Right? It's right there, right? Like,
yeah.
I think the banner is fantastic. The look of it is awesome. I think it's great. So I think that criticism is unfounded.
I'm glad you brought up the banner.
I think it's
banner
modern. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's wrong.
I was gonna say I'm glad you brought up the banner critique. I'm here for this type of shit. By the way, on TV, you could see where it was raised, but I haven't seen a picture yet of
where it is in the stadium. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm section 309, and like I'm looking directly I have the TV angle. This is our like season. Me and my brothers are season seats. It's like right where we're row 13, section 309, and it was like we're dead center TV angle, and with how high we are, you actually can't see the name of the Leafs guys. So sometimes
Yeah,
it's a
it's
fun,
actually kind of it's a fun game. Yes.
fun guessing game and being like, was that Tim Horton or was that Tim Horton? You know what I mean? And I'm always like, I know Sundin for sure. Now, what about the other 14 guys?
That was a cool little picture of him and Sundin that they redid.
I didn't see that. No,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's like an old picture from back in the day of him and Sundin wearing like he's wearing a Leafs jersey that says Carter, and Sundin's wearing a Raptors jersey that says Sundin, and they're like looking back at the camera, and then like they retook that picture, I guess, that night, and they pretty much look just a little different. Yeah,
I love that.
It's awesome. Yeah, I just pulled it up. Oh.
I'm gonna pull
so they did the same pose and the same thing. It's pretty interesting.
Loved Matt Sundin, by the way. Just mini tangent. I loved Matt Sundin, and I hated how other people hated him.
Did people hate Mats? Who hated Mats? They were wrong. They're wrong to hate
people.
him.
But he was like sort of. I feel like he got the hockey version of like he's not a good enough number one. Which to me is always trash because it's like
you're right. Now that you're mentioning it,
when a player's amazing and it's like they're not the single best player in the league, it's like I don't know what to do with you. This is not good critique.
He was legendary Hall of Fame player.
Yeah.
Okay, this Raptor squad 2-5. Dan, you've been texting me a lot. I feel like we've been playing phone tag. I know you're enjoying yourself. I think everybody is. So
yeah, I want to go with like an ecstatic 2-5. Like I'm having so much fun watching them, and I'm like, I don't know if maybe because I like I'm watching them going, this is a good team, and we don't even have all our players, and I just love like the effort being put in. I love like these rookies who just feel like they're further along maybe than they should be. Maybe I don't know enough about basketball, but it just seems that way to me. Like, especially like guys like Shed and like, just like, I don't know, just really tenacious group of guys. And I love watching it, and I can't wait for us to have like a full squad and to see what that's like, because a lot of these guys will get pushed down to like the second string, and then it's like, wait, those guys were almost winning games. You know what I mean? Like, so that'll be really interesting to see. I think we'll be a real surprisingly good team if we ever get fully healthy.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope that we do get some sample size at least. I hope that we get a real string of health, so we get to see. For me, I mean, IQ and Scotty is really, I think that's like the two people I want to see play a ton of games together and have chemistry, even if it's like we're the worst team in the league or whatever it is. Yeah, I want to see those guys play and make and shoot, and I want to see how the team orbits around them, how they are in defense, how they are on offense. You know, obviously this is like everybody wants to see this. Me and Louis Zatzman, the head editor of Raptors Republic, brought up just a tweet kind of talking about like how roles change. Like he just sort of, brought up the concept of like what, for instance, Grady, right, is a guy who is just incredible. Like the start of his season is amazing. Like he's looking, actually Mike, not Mike James, Mike Brown, from the Sacramento Kings head coach. He said that if there was a MIP right now, it would be Grady. So that's how good Grady's playing. But he's a guy I'm so curious to see how does he do with less touches, because you got Scotty, you got IQ, you got Barrett, and yeah, let's say he's number 4 in the pecking order. That's a big difference in how he's playing right now. And in that Kings game, like he's chucking, like and good chucking. Like he's really just like when he gets the ball, he's like, I'm the option, and it's looking good on him. And guys aren't stopping him. But yeah,
he's leading his draft class in points.
I didn't know that. That's amazing. Do you know who is there anyone that's like a So that's more than Wembanyama, for instance.
I guess so, because I just heard that on the broadcast. That's what Devlin said and
Because he
Jack
was
said
drafted
last
in the
night.
same year as Wemby, so that's pretty cool. So he's
That's
better than
crazy.
Wemby, yeah. So if you're like an aggregator,
Yeah.
Grady Dick's a lot better than Wembanyama, and you heard it from Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that is confirmed. I know everyone's probably thinking that like, no, that can't be true. But 2 days ago, after the loss of the Lakers, Grady Dick was leading the 2023 draft class in points per game at 20.8 PPG.
great.
61.1 true shooting.
So it's too bad if
Through
you
6
drafted,
games.
yeah, if you drafted Wembanyama and you don't have Grady, something messed up. Like you messed up.
Yeah,
hard.
you've blown it completely.
Yeah, you really blew it.
Speaking of rookies, though, I saw a thing today that was just looking at all the rookies this year and looking at all the different stuff, all the different metrics, your efficiency, your shooting percentage, all that kind of stuff. And Jamal Shed and Jonathan Mobo were among the top guys, like consistently in a lot of the different metrics. And that was very encouraging. And I mean, it's no surprise when you've been seeing the games, you've been seeing how they've been doing, and they look great and all that. But like, I actually was like, it's funny to like be experiencing losses, but watching an entertaining team and a bunch of young guys and trying to figure it out and all that. But also feel like Dan, like you were saying, like, oh man, once our good guys come back in, this should be really great, right? So there's this weird thing where, as Raptor fans, we're all watching this young team develop in front of us that doesn't have the other young players
who are the most important guys.
Yeah, right.
Can I jump in on that?
Watching
Because
this other team, yeah.
what I was going to say, just because like I always think like about that, which is like when we have players injured, it's both bad and good, and here's why.
Yeah,
Those players are injured. That sucks 100%. I wish they were there. I wish we had Scotty, and I wish you know what I mean. But when those players aren't there, our younger players get so much more practice and playing time, so that when those older guys come back, the younger guys have actually got a bunch of run in them. But the problem is now they have to readjust and calculate what the team is like with the guys that were injured for the past month or two. And then it takes forever to get those guys in. And by the time they're in, maybe there's another injury. Maybe, you know what I mean? Or maybe they don't get along. Who knows, right? So it's like there's so many things that can happen. But it's this weird, like, getting everybody in the same place at the same time, juggling act that's like, it's not a coaching thing. It's literally like a fate thing. You know what I mean? It's like, can they, like, by next year, all have a bunch of practice in them and be healthy and start the year on fire? You know what I mean? Or just like whatever.
And to that point, like I've been hearing, you know, some people talking about how like Darko's coaching, like in-game stuff hasn't been as sharp as like some people think it could be or whatever. And you know, this is his first head coaching job, obviously. So this is only his second year doing it. So, you know, he's going to have these things happen, and he's obviously development first guy and all that kind of stuff. But what a good coach to have for this exact situation, right? We're talking about this like second class of rookies and guys on the team who are being thrust into this kind of larger role due to injury. Well, I think Darko is a great coach for them to be able to like fit into those roles. Now, they're not going to be out there crushing and winning every game, obviously, but to handle it and to develop properly, I think Darko is exactly the type of coach you want. You know, easing these guys into that role, and I think it's kind of shown because again, like we're 2-5, we could easily be 3-4 at the very least. That Denver game, obviously, right? So like. And then all of a sudden you're looking at much more closer to a 500 team. And like, is that the way they play for the rest of the year? Once the other guys come back, who knows, right? We'll see.
Can I counter that, Andy?
Counter it, please do. I hate you.
I'd rather have Nick Nurse just trashing these guys in the media.
And just running them into the ground.
You know what I mean? I want Nurse coming for Boucher's head. I want Nurse just slamming Grady Dick for his defense. I want Nurse not having any conversations with the players, and I want him to go to the media and just rip them to shreds. Because I think overall that's good for the vibes. No, but
Okay, you're
I
right.
think like Darko's awesome. And by the way, check me out on Twitter because anytime the Raptors win, I will tweet a picture of someone drinking a coffee and call them Darko. Darko Rajakovic, because like sometimes I hear a little nugget about a guy and I'm like, this is it. This is the thing. I'm going to focus on forever. In his, like when he was coming out of the Raptors, someone said, how do you keep all your this energy you have? Like, how do you keep it going? And he's like, I have 6 espressos a day. So I'm like, I can't forget that.
Yeah.
I can't forget that. I heard that once. I can't forget it. This guy pounds espressos all day, all night. And I love it. 6 is insane. That's out of control. So
You
anyway,
posted a picture of Rodney Dangerfield
yeah,
drinking a cup of coffee
I
and
sure
going
did.
like this.
I sure did. So only 2
Classic
wins.
Rodney.
Only 2 wins so far. So I'm gonna keep him coming. A lot of coffee gifts out there.
Can I ask you guys a
Yeah.
question about Darko's coaching?
Yeah.
Do you like it? No, I'm just kidding. I was gonna say like, do you like aerobics workouts where there's like a low intensity, a medium intensity, and like a high intensity person,
Yeah.
and like one of them's doing like barely a workout, the middle one's doing like
Yeah.
a little bit more. Okay, like do you think that like Darko is just putting the team through the low workout because it's like first before you like get a system going on its feet, you have to have them know what it is, right? And you don't do it at full speed. You do it slowly and like purposefully so that everybody knows their role. And then when everyone knows their role, which can't happen until everyone's there, that's when you start clicking things into place and going to medium. And then when medium works,
For sure.
fast
that's
just
a great
happens
point.
eventually, right? So it's like I sometimes feel like fan bases and media, they're watching this news all the time and they don't realize that like there's a process happening. Maybe they do, but they just like you get caught in the moment
Mhm.
and it's like, why is he coaching like this? Like, why can't everybody be, it's just like, well, because they're getting to know each other. Half the team's missing
Yeah.
and maybe he's just kind of making them feel good. You know what I mean? Like, hey
Yeah.
guys, we're just kind of like, we're working hard. We're getting this stuff down. We're going to get better. When the team's back, this is going to be awesome. You know what I mean? Like, is that a reality or is that just me making a movie out of the situation? You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's both. I encourage your movie making, and it is a reality. He had the franchise record setting amount of starting lineups last year. We also had the most amount of players on our roster ever. It was like totally in between identities. Obviously just blockbuster trades of Raptors legends and OG and Pascal, and then getting some guys and then getting injured. And then this year he's already had the Raptors are in the lead for most, different starting lineups. So it's like, I think, yeah, he's definitely like it's like, to extend your metaphor, he keeps getting on the workout machine and then it's like, he looks back and it's not plugged in.
right.
You know what I mean? Like he has to keep like basically like plugging in. He's calling the electrician. Like he's not even really starting the workout yet.
Yeah, he's tinkering because he doesn't have all the parts. So he's like trying to put wires together to make it work for a week till the part comes back. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Can I ask you guys this? Do you think it's fair to say that part of this positive energy is that we have a like Masai had a bunch of hits on the margin year, which feels familiar, where it's like we've had all these Kolokos and Terrence Davis and Malachi and just like man, oh man, and just like Jalen Harris and just like all these things not happening. And then this year it's like, wait a second, Walter's just 2 games in. I think he's, I'm really excited about him. He looks smooth, but you got Walter, Shed, Lobo, Chomchi is like,
He's looking great this year.
Yeah, he's in the, he's going to be end of the bench guy, but he looks like
Yeah.
even like grabbing like Fernando, and I feel like there seems to be a lot of like small wins on this team, and I feel like
I also think someone like Shed and having someone like Shed and Barnes and like those guys are pretty intense. Like, I think like it's like having a few spark plugs like in the lineup really helps. Like just watching the energy level of the guys on the bench too, and like just how much they're supporting each other is like, to me, it like is the difference between like a good team and a great team. But it's like you're just building the foundation of that. You know what I mean? So it's like they look like they're there for each other. Like when what's his face? Davion Mitchell's like, deking someone out, and you got like Shed over there like just losing his mind, and like it's cool. Like they seem like a brotherhood.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
by the way, RJ Barrett is like such good vibes.
He looks like a cyborg though. What the hell's going on with him? Like he looks like when like you're a kid pretending to be like a superhero and you're charging up. Like he's at a game, I'm like, every time it shows RJ Barrett, he's like like he's just like losing his mind, like he's like in a zone.
He has very quiet and
crazy.
His and one at the end of the game.
It's Mississauga intensity, dude.
Yeah, it is like Kothra energy, man. Like so he like his and one at the end of the game, and then like Pirtle's like just up, like standing up flexing. I'm like, is Pirtle getting silly? This is great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
guys, we don't have to win. It's okay.
I know. Speaking of things burned in your brain, his media day presser where it's like, we don't have to try too hard to win. It's like, whoa, don't say that out loud, man. By the way, Pirtle been great.
Yeah, man, Pirtle plus.
Pert plus, baby.
Baby.
Let's finish this off with a truly insane article that Andy found.
Okay, before I get into this, I did want to mention this. Before we do this, we didn't talk at all about Drake.
Oh my
saying
God!
he would rip down DeMar's banner if he
what was that about?
Retired.
Okay, let's
live on the air.
Let's all do 1 minute on what's going on with Drake.
What? So
Andy, you go first. Just a solid give us your heater take.
My heater take. I mean, I get where he's coming from. Like this guy. We were talking about it last night, and people were like, "Yeah, I think they're still friends." And I'm like, "I don't know, man." Like, DeMar appeared in the video and in that Amazon thing, and obviously very much into the song that repeatedly calls Drake a pedophile. So I don't know if Drake's like, "Yeah, cool, man. We're still buddies."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Certified.
And then last night, it's official. He's gonna rip. He said he would rip down the banner. But here's the thing, right? Like, are we Raptors fans or are we Drake fans? You can be both. But like when it comes time to like retire DeMar's jersey, which everyone's pretty much in agreement they're going to do at some point. What's gonna happen with Drake? Is he still gonna be mad about this? We'll see.
Here's the thing. I don't think we should retire DeRozan's jersey, because if Drake's just gonna rip it down anyway,
I mean, Drake's gonna climb up there. He's gonna have to get a cherry picker, one of those big ones.
What's the point?
I think we retire it. We let Drake get up there, pull it down, we retire it again, and then we'll see how many times Drake can get up there, and then eventually we'll have to retire Drake tearing down the jersey.
Then Drake will retire from the tearing down of DeMar's jersey.
Well, did you hear what DeMar said?
Drake's.
Yeah, he said like, I don't think you can reach or something like that. Or...
Yeah, it was just he was like, yeah, good luck with that. It's like gonna be pretty high up there. Like,
yeah,
answered it as seriously as he could. Like, I don't know if he's really gonna try, but that's gonna be hard for him.
That's very really Kawhi energy. Like,
well, yeah, exactly. Like that's really high in the air. I don't think your arms are that long.
Yeah, that's very...
I can't believe he actually said that. Did he commit
good
to
play
that?
Finding a ladder.
Yeah.
I don't think they make them that big.
Yeah.
I will always love
some help.
The LA reporters being like, "Wow, so you play." Asking Kawhi like, "Wow, you play in Toronto, like it's really cold there," and he's like, "Yeah, well the games are inside, so." And then the reporter's like, "Oh well, no, it's actually like it's a really cold place." He's like, yeah, well I have a jacket when I go outside."
I love that. That is good.
The reporter was just like
actually...
completely rattled. Like they had no idea he was just going to answer the question in like a matter of fact way. Like it was
I wish DeRozan
for
would have
one-
expounded on how he could do it. Like if he was like, I don't know, it's pretty high up there. You're like doing that. I mean, I guess if you got like a drone and like taped a knife to it or something.
it was a major
Taped a
yes
knife
and.
to it.
He's like,
Taped a knife to a drone and just cut it.
here's my Drake DeRozan thing. So, enough time has passed where like Drake lost that battle so hard. And you know, there was the pop-up concert. There was like Not Like Us is one of Kendrick's biggest songs ever. Like you just were absolutely eviscerated. And yeah, how do you come back from this? You know, I'm sure there's different strategies or whatever, but popping in and being like, you know, that guy, I actually think he's a goof. It's like, okay, but like you got pants in front of everybody hard. So like just, you got to pull up your own pants first, I think. And I don't know, man. Like, I think just move on. Like, just move on. I guess it's not like Drake energy or rapper energy to be like, hey everyone, how you doing? Remember the guy who got the pie in the face? Anyways, that's me, except there's pedophile accusations. You know what I mean? Like, but like, I don't know what he does, but like him coming back and being like, actually, like, go to hell, DeMar is like, DeMar's great. I don't know what to do, man. Like, okay, let's move on to Andy's insane article.
There's a bunch of things happening in and around the league, but this is one that really jumped out at me for some reason. There is a Michael Jordan Upper Deck card that is starting to sell for like way more than it has in the past. And the reasoning for this, it's selling at like auction and stuff, is that in the card, like the card is Jordan taking a shot, like corner 3 kind of area, and you can see in the crowd courtside right behind him the Menendez brothers, and they're just there and they're just sitting there. And okay, so this is affecting the card's value. People are paying a lot for it. But the Menendez brothers are back in a big way, by the way. 2024, they are just having a real resurgence. Yeah. Here's the thing. I saw that headline. I clicked on it. I read it. I was like, oh, this is wild. Here's the thing I learned that kind of even blew my mind more is that there was already another card with the Menendez brothers in the background. It's a Mark Jackson card.
They must be season holders.
That one's been known about for a long time, like the Mark Jackson one.
Is this in New York?
It's got to be.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Madison Square Garden. Yeah, so they must be.
Yeah.
I mean, they must be season seat holders because that's a courtside shot.
Yep, that's a courtside shot, and so they're in 2 that we know of basketball cards that are like check if you're a basketball card guy, look in the background for Menendez brothers shots, I guess, because your card might be worth way more than you thought.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it would be even crazier if like it was worth that much because it was, the Menendez brothers were in the background, but they were holding up a like Dr. J rookie card. You know what I mean? So technically, it's like, this is a Michael Jordan rookie card with the Menendez brothers holding a Dr. J rookie card in it.
And in the background of the Dr. J card is Charles Manson. This has been Dr. J.
Yeah, holding a Babe Ruth ball.
Yeah, no.
It's Charles Manson holding
Here's
a
what I
Babe Ruth
want.
signed ball.
Michael Jordan taking a shot, the Menendez brothers in the back, and they're holding up a cell phone that was like too far ahead of the technological possibilities of this.
People are like, there's no way. How would they have that? Holding an iPhone?
That's a Pixel 8. What the fuck, man?
What the hell is this? Yeah. So, anyways, there you go. There's a little news there for you.
That's good.
You're a
shit.
collector,
That's
I
so
suppose.
funny.
Also, I mean, while we're here, do you see Kevin Durant called out Stephen A. Smith, called him a clown? Which, like, I mean, how? Okay,
He's
we've
correct.
never brought. I don't think we really brought him up. What do you guys think of Stephen A? I'm a big Stephen A guy. I'm a big fan. I think he's great. I think he's hilarious. He just went on like Fox News a couple times leading up to the election here, and just like really just pretty much dunked on. I want to say it's not Tucker Carlson. It's the other one. Whatever the guy. Whatever his name is. Anyways, the shitty guy from Fox News, and so like. Was like,
Geraldo
if you were
Rivera?
even like, no, whatever, it's the other guy, whatever. Anyways, it's like, even if you're on the fence about Stephen A, watching him do that to Fox News guys is like, wow, I like that a lot. Like, he was using his sports like belligerent, like, I'm not backing down from my point here but to do that with like a political point and like talking about how garbage Donald Trump is on Fox News, which you just don't see. And it was like,
Right.
I mean, that clip made the rounds, and it was really great. So, you know, I also love him because did you ever see on TikTok when they were like, people would, he has his own TikTok, and like people were asking him like, what Pokemon would you pick? Like, what would your starter Pokemon be? And then, so he would be there, and he would have the 3 pictures of the starter original Pokemon. And he's like, and he would just go in, he would talk about them like they were athletes. Now this guy, he's got a bulb on his back. He's got a bulb on his back. He's carrying the team. He's doing all this stuff. It's funny as hell. Like, I love Stephen A. So Kevin Durant calls him a clown. Guess what? Since when is clown an insult, brother?
I was going to
Thank
say
you.
Stephen A. literally is a clown.
And clowns
Like,
are great.
kind of
Clowns
In the
are
right.
most like actual way. Like, he's like a commedia dell'arte clown.
Yeah,
Like,
as someone that
he's like,
is a clown, I actually
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
he is a clown, and it's a fantastic thing.
yeah, as a compliment
Yeah.
almost. Makes him more entertaining.
If you've never seen it, Andy, or listeners, check out Stephen A. Goes off on what's the main racer in Cars? Because someone calls in and they're like, well, yeah, someone calls in and they're like, Lightning McQueen, best racer
Lightning
ever.
McQueen.
He's
Oh,
like-
yeah, that was
and
so...
he just goes completely in, and yeah, it's fantastic. Like, you love to Kevin Durant's point, I think, when he's horrible for basketball discourse in the way that we were complimenting Vince earlier. Guys like Stephen A are absolutely dreadful for like having full nuanced conversations. But
Yes.
when it's like Stephen A on draft night and he's just like an unabashed Knicks fan, and he's like falling down on the ground
Yeah.
and in hysterics. I'm like, this is what entertainment is.
That is
I
very
love
funny.
it. I
Yeah,
love
like
it.
Yeah.
I don't in those types of shows, right? Like, I'm not necessarily talking about in broadcast, like in the game, but if we're talking about a show that's covering the week that was in basketball, or a daily type of show, that's the kind of guy I need. I need a guy like that. I need a hot take guy, and I need a guy who knows how to deliver those hot takes in a way that is funny, at least. You know what I mean? So like, there's so many guys out there who are just so boring to watch them do that, and then there's guys who are just, look, the Canadian media landscape is filled with them. I'll be honest with you. There's a lot. We don't have a Stephen A, right? The closest we ever had is Donald Trump, is Don Cherry, and rightfully so. He was kicked off the CBC broadcast, but we need to find someone who's like a better person than Don Cherry to do a similar job. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need a Stephen A, essentially, is what I'm saying. So I need a guy like that. That's why I love him so much. And
Although he
he's
has
just
horrible
always
Toronto
fun.
takes too, Stephen.
He does.
Oh yeah, listen, I don't agree with everything he's ever
Yeah.
said, for
He's
sure.
got some
right?
bad
Like, that's the thing.
basketball takes.
Bad takes all over the place. His whole doesn't. Yeah, like he trust me. Like, half of what he says is just brutal, but the way he says it, and like, you just can't, like, I don't know, man.
He
doesn't
just
get much
needs a
better than
writing
that
team.
for me.
He
I
just needs
love
a
him.
writing team.
Yeah,
He just needs a team where, like, listen, say this, perform the hell out of it, be Dane Cook, do your thing. Right.
Or just stop doing sports and just start doing social media stuff and just do Pokemon and
That'd be great.
cars. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
into that as well. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think Stephen A is a good place to call this. Great pod, great times. Dan, what's up? Tell people about the cave.
yeah. I just opened a new venue at 928 Bloor Street West. It's in the back of a place called Teddy Beer. It's called The Cave. It's a space for anybody that wants to do anything, really. We got music, poetry, storytelling, comedy. We had a book release yesterday. We're booking parties. So if anybody's interested, you can get in touch at Cave Manager at thecaveto.ca. And you can also check out our website, thecaveto.ca, for all of what we do and our event calendar. And we're trying to do 2 shows a night there every night of the week. So yeah, we're always looking for people to produce shows and attend them, and they're going to be fun. I'm excited.
Hell yeah.
And sorry, that website again is thecaveto.ca. Is that right?
Yes.
Right on. Okay, check it
Sick.
out. Check it out.
Andy, what's going on in Trivia Town?
I'm still doing trivia down at the Smith House. It's like 4th Wednesday of every month. Yeah, if you want to come down and see trivia there, that's when I do it. And I'm going to be on Catch 23, which is, one of the big improv shows over at Comedy Bar. I'm doing
Best.
it this Friday, the 8th. So if you are listening to this before that, come on down. It's a great show. It's going to be stacked. We actually have Brendan Halloran's going to be, me and him are doing it, who he hosted the show with me for a while when Freddie was gone. And our boy Norm Souza is going to be up from Los Angeles, a producer down there for the Fox NFL. So we'll, have a big old, and Norm's been on the show as well before as well. So yeah, come on out. It'll be good.
Huge.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, my next show is with Dan, November 14th at 7 p.m. Come check it out. And, follow, like, subscribe. Check out all the podcasts at Raptors Republic. And, so support us, give us some love, and we're going to keep killing this game of life. See you guys next week. Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. I love it. Goodbye, everyone.
Peace.